or good evening to my viewers. Today we will see an important topic called as TCP UDP. This topic is basically TCP and UDP. They are basically the protocols. TCP and UDP protocols. These protocols come under the layer of the transport layer. So this is the TCP IP model. Here we have 5 layers: physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer and application layer. So these protocols fall under this category of transport layer. Before going into the depth of these layers, we will see what is transport layer. We will see the functionality of transport layer. Transport layer basically its main functionality is to transfer the data, and here the transmission of data takes place among the endpoints. Among the endpoints, the transfer of data takes place among the endpoints. Here we'll see here transport layer have 3 important functionalities. One is the packet segmentation, second one is the packet reassembly, third one is the error checking. First, packet segmentation. First we'll see what is a packet and what is a segmentation. As you can see from the figure that transport layer is in between the network layer and application layer. So this transport layer acts as an interface between these two layers, that is application layer and network layer. From application layer, application is nothing but a message. A typical example, with the user wants to send a message. This application layer contains, we'll see this message, application message. This when coming to the transport layer, this what can we say? This application message get converted into a packets. Here the packets, a packet is a full figure. This full figure of a large number of data, we can say. This large number of data is divided into chunks, segments. Chunks are nothing but segments. Here the packet is divided into chunks or segments, and this chunks or segment in addition with a header, a transport layer header is added. This process is called as segmentation. We can say that segmentation is the process of conversion of packet header into small units called as chunks, plus packets into small units called as chunks in addition to transport layer header. This process is nothing but segmentation. Why we need segmentation is the other question. Why segmentation is necessary? Because instead of sending the large number of data, if we send a data in chunks or segments, it can be easily be transported. That is why we perform segmentation. So that is a packet segmentation. That is one of the important property of transport layer. After packet segmentation, we will have packet reassembly. Means after sending the data, when it comes to the receiver, when he receives the data, all the data should be clubbed. He should get data in clubbed manner. Means all the data in a equal manner or full-fledged manner. That is packet reassembly. And error checking is nothing but, by the term we can say that if there is an error, it is used to rectify whether an error is present or not. So basically these 3 are the functionalities of transport layer. Now coming to the important protocol, that is nothing but TCP protocol. Here we will see. We will have close look on this TCP protocol. TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. So TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. This protocol is basically, it have 2 important functionalities. I'll write the first full form. Transmission Control Protocol. This TCP protocol has 2 major functionalities. First one is the connection oriented. My handwriting is somewhat weak. I hope you all are understanding it. Connection oriented. connection. So be careful while listening. Connection oriented, and next is nothing but reliable. Reliable. These two functionalities are of TCP protocol. So first, connection oriented. Connection oriented is nothing but first connection is pre-established before transmission of data. The connection is pre-established. This is nothing but connection oriented. Reliable means there is a guarantee that the data will be particularly received to the receiver. Will give a guarantee that the data is received to the receiver. That is reliable. Reliable will say no, that he is reliable, so and so is reliable. Means we can trust, we can have a genuine faith. So we can guarantee that a particular data is transferred. So based on these two terms only, the TCP protocol is based, or main emphasis lies on these two terms, that is connection oriented. First, a connection should be pre-established. Means before, this is the sender, this is the receiver. If we want to transfer the data, before transporting the data or transferring the data, we should there should be a connection establishment stage. Means connection should be, a link should be established. A link should be established. After the link is established only, then only the data can be transferred. That is the connection oriented. Next is the reliable. Means there is a guarantee that the data is received by the receiver. Here we'll have a diagram which shows these two functionalities. So we'll see the continuation. As I said that TCP protocol has two important properties, that is the connection oriented and reliable. So this diagram depicts the two important properties. Consider it as a sender and consider it as a receiver. Here first, a sender is how the reliable property is guaranteed and connection oriented is guaranteed. We will see in this diagram. First, in order to establish a connection, the sender sent SYN, sequence of I, means it is a sequence number I. It is a SYN bit. SYN means connection, start of the connection, you can say. Next, after this, sequence 1. This is a sequence 1, means it is a number 1, we can say. Next, this receiver is giving the reply, or giving the reply that SYN, its sequence number is J. It has its own sequence number, and as well as it answers to the sequence number of I. Means I have received your so and so, I have received your connection and accepting that connection. That acceptance is given by the acknowledgement I plus 1. As it is sequence I, acknowledgement will be acknowledgement I plus 1. Similarly, here now sender 1, receiver 1. Now sender 2, means this is I, means it will be I plus J. Sequence will be I plus J, I plus 1, incremental 1. So, an acknowledgement, as I have received this, he is giving the acknowledgement. Yes, I have received, a receiver, I have received your message. Now I am replying. Acknowledgement of J plus 1. So clearly you see, this is a SYN, that is starting, or SYN, its sequence number 1, that is 1. Here the receiver is replying back. How it is replying? SYN, its sequence number, that is J, and its acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is nothing but the sender, for sender sequence number, it will add 1 acknowledgement of I plus 1, means I have received your message, or I have received your connection, is saying. Acknowledgement is nothing but giving a reply back that I have received your message. Similarly, this is third sequence, or third SYN sequence of, this was I, now it will be I plus 1, and acknowledgement will be J plus 1 for this J plus 1. This is the TCP. So basically TCP have the two important properties, as I said before, connection oriented and reliable. That is, those two are very important properties, and based on those properties only the name TCP has been kept and TCP works. Now we'll go for UDP. UDP means user datagram protocol. User datagram contrast to TCP. Contrast means opposite. As I said, TCP was a connection oriented. This is a connection less protocol. As I said, TCP was reliable. It is unreliable. So the properties: connection less means it does not have a connection. Second one is unreliable. Connection less means, so before sending the data, as in TCP, a connection need to be established, means a pre-establishment of link should be there in TCP. But this UDP does not have such type of link. It is a connection less. If the sender wants to send the data, he just simply sends without checking whether the link is established or not. He does not bother about it. Just he wants to send the data, that's all, he'll send. And similarly, unreliable. There in TCP, there was a guarantee that the data will be received by the receiver. But here in UDP, there is no guarantee. The job of sender is to send. He does not check whether receiver has received or not. So we can say that there is no guarantee of data. That's why the terms connectionless and unreliable. Based on these two terms only, the UDP is there. It is a connectionless and as well as it is unreliable. We can say that both are the contrasting protocols. One has some properties which are neglected or which are quite opposite to the other properties. TCP is having two properties which are contrast to the UDP. Just we saw the properties, functionalities of TCP and UDP. That these two diagrams depicts the format, message format. Means this is the format in which the TCP and UDP have. First, this is the source port, means source destination, source address, followed by destination, followed by sequence number. What is the sequence number? Followed by acknowledgement. What acknowledgement? From which it is coming. Next, HL stands for header length. RESERVD, that is reserved, means how many bits are reserved. Next we have FIN, that is FIN stands for finished bit. SYN stands for synchronized bit. Next we have this is the reset, RST, that is reset. Next we have PSH, that is push bit, acknowledgement, and urgent. If any urgent bit is there or not. This is the represent window size. What is the size of the window? Followed by the checksum in order to calculate the error, checksum. Followed by the we have urgent pointer. Any urgent pointer is required for this format. Next we have the operations, all kind of operations. Next we have the padding bit, and finally we have the data. This is the format of TCP message format system. Coming to the UDP. Once, if you want, I can just revise one. Source, destination, sequence number, acknowledgement, reserve, header length, finish, synchronize, reset, push, acknowledgement, urgent. That is window size, checksum, urgent pointer, operations. Here we have padding bit and data. This is the TCP. Coming to the UDP, we have, this is the message format length or format of the UDP. We have same source port, destination port, UDP length. What is the length of the UDP? Next we have the checksum. As checksum, why we use to find out any errors are there or not. The error condition, or error checking depends here on the checksum. Finally, we have the data. These two are the formats of TCP and UDP. Finally, I can conclude that TCP and UDP are basically two important transport protocols which are basically used to transfer the data. So one has the property of a connection oriented and is a reliable, that is TCP. Other has a property that it is the connection less and it is unreliable. So this is the topic of TCP and UDP, which is an important topic in the computer networks, and this comes under the transport layer. Thank you for listening.